Bear here, and yeah, that really happened, didn't it, Riley? In fact, Riley actually caused it. Riley, I was filming Linville Falls and taking some pictures, and I'll show those at the end of the video, when my dog, he pulled me, Riley, pulled me a little bit, and I'm walking through the river, because the river is always the best place to take waterfall photos, and bam, my brand new Sony A7 Mark III with the brand new Tamron 28-75 lens completely submerged underwater. I mean completely, it was totally submerged. Pulled it up out of the water, and I wish I would have known what I know now about what to do if you ever totally soak your camera underwater. First thing, if I'd have known that, I'd had some kind of cover over my camera. They make ones that completely seal the camera. They make some that partially seal the camera. Really anything would have helped, because in my situation the camera was fully submerged. If I could have kept a little bit of water out of the camera, it might have saved me some money. Now, a lot of you are wondering, well, does the camera still work? Yeah, this camera still works. This is not it. This is a Sony A7iii. For those of you astute people out there who might have noticed that. But one good thing that happened after the camera was submerged was somebody yelled, "Take the battery out!" And I did. I took it out immediately. Now the camera wasn't on, it was submerged, so there was no current going through the camera. That could have created its own problems. I've also heard that this little hot shoe right here conducts electricity, and if it gets wet, sometimes that'll short out your camera. I keep a little cover on it. That's something I would encourage you to do, especially on a Sony. I've heard that that can cause some problems if moisture gets in there. But I took the battery out, and that probably saved the camera right then, because none of the electronics were hurt at all. The next thing I did was I took off the lens. Now that was probably a mistake. I noticed that the lens had water up here in the front. I could see it through the glass, but what I didn't take into account was the back is separate, and there's weather sealing on that. And so when I took the lens off, water splashed up in, and it got on the sensor. And here are some pictures of what the sensor looked like after I dried the camera out and got it back working again. Yeah, they look pretty bad. Well, anyways, so took care of that with sensor cleaner. You can buy those on Amazon. They're not expensive. It took 4 or 5 of these to get it clean and get all the spots off, but I did get the sensor clean. Now, the camera itself did great. I know people talk about Sony's weather sealing and whatever, but this thing was totally submerged for a couple seconds. It was fine. I noticed a little water around the battery, but that was the only place I noticed any water in the camera. And of course, like I said, when I took the lens off, I hadn't completely dried off the camera, and I splashed water onto the sensor when I was trying to get water off the lens. Now, the next thing I did was went to Walmart, bought some rice, put the camera in one bag of rice, put the lens in the other bag of rice. Now the lens had water literally just kind of rolling up around in it, so it was pretty it was pretty soaked. And so what I did is I'd read on the internet that you can put them in an oven. I wasn't about to put a lens in an oven, especially a plastic one that might melt, but I put it on the front porch in a bag of rice. You don't want to completely submerge the rice. That rice has got a lot of particulates in it. Just put it on top of some wax paper, sit it down on the rice. The rice will absorb the moisture. I put it in a plastic bag, and I could see the plastic bag fogging up during the day and pulling all the moisture out of the camera and also out of the lens. Now when I got the lens completely dried out and the camera completely dried out, I tested the camera, worked fine, no problem at all there. I gave it about 3 days. The lens though, a little bit of a problem, that the little crystals had formed, like when a window fogs up, around the inside of the lens on the front elements here. And so I looked up about taking apart a Tamron lens and cleaning one, and even started to attempt to do it. And then I realized that all I was going to do was mess up my lens. Tamron, you go on their website, you fill out a form, you send them the lens. $300 later, got my lens back, perfectly clean, like a brand new lens. Works great, no problems. So all in all, I was pretty lucky. $350, camera totally submerged. The Sony did great with the keeping the water out of it, out of the electronics. But I would definitely recommend in the future that you have something covering the camera, and also something I did have that I was not overly concerned because of. I had insurance on the camera. State Farm offers insurance for drones, for cameras, for gear you use in your business, and so if it was a complete loss, at least I was covered that way. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have, hit the subscribe button. I'll be posting some videos about some interesting places I've visited recently. This is Bear saying, have a great day and spend it outdoors.